We are here today. We're going to talk to you about your latest song, video, get a little bit of information about yourself, my good, powerful, strong black man. We appreciate you. But starting off, how do you feel about One and Only, your video, your song? How do you feel now that it's out?
Yeah, I feel great. Really excited to finally have the visual to share with everyone. It was definitely a process, a fun one, but there was a lot of different uh, hoops we had to jump through, but it definitely evolved from the start. And excited to share with everybody. It's been getting great responses and reviews, so just excited.
Hey everybody, it's William Carter here with InquisitiveCarter.com. So what inspired, the song One and Only, so we can kind of guess, what inspired that. But from your eyes and your mouth, what inspired the song and also the video? 'Cause I think the video is different from what we're used to experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in terms of the song, that was something that we worked on for a long time, Davo and I, and I think it was just something that I was just in the moment. I loved the production on it, and we wanted to make something that felt good. People could dance to, and uh, more so like celebrate and show love. And I think that was some of the inspiration behind it. And the later parts of the song really evolved when we were in the pandemic. So even more so, we were focused on trying to like bring people together and the community aspect to it. So that was a big inspiration behind the song. In terms of the video, I just wanted to do something that was a little bit different. And I was like, how can we tell this story where people might not expect it, to be as literal as the song. And I'm a big fan of movies and entertainment, short films. So a lot of times I try to tell a story within the music video. So it just came together like that, and excited that people have responded well and taken to it so far.
And no, you definitely did, flip it in the video because, you don't go into things like, oh, I guess it's going to be that, I guess it's going to be that. You go into it like, all right, it is what it is. But I wasn't expecting that, so I got to give it to you. It definitely was different, creative, like, interesting, and then, like, it kept the attention throughout the whole video.
I appreciate that.
No
Yeah.
doubt, no problem. Um, but yeah, man, from this new video song to what you've done in the past, opening for B.o.B, Jay Electronica, and more, how does that feel for you, having those moments emerge and becoming an emerging artist on the scene?
It's a blessing. No, it's truly a blessing to add another piece to it. You know, um, I'm grateful every time we get to do something different and have a new point in the career where we achieve something new. And so I think we're just getting started in terms of the video for this, but the song has already achieved records for me in terms of streams, and I think it'll do even more. So feels like we're at the beginning in some regards, but to be able to take that and add it on top of what I've done in the past with B.o.B and Jay Electronica, it's a new point and new exciting uh, part of the journey. So just trying to stay on the path and run the race that's set for me.
Got it. So staying on that path and running the race, I'm not going to ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years? But given the fact that, we are so in the midst of a global pandemic, but you were still able to put out a video and you're still able to go to the music studio, how do you see your career going forth throughout the rest of the year?
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like you said, like with the 5 years and everything, I think one of the things that I've learned is that we all have plans, and it's really up to what God says. And so that's what I'm trying to really focus and be in the moment of, listening, seeing what I'm supposed to do, because I had a lot of plans for 2020, like everybody else, but that didn't happen. So I think for the rest of the year, I'm actually focused on releasing another song called Wrong Side that I'll be putting out in a few months. And that's new, that's exclusive. Nobody knows that. So really excited about that song though, and we're shooting the video here soon. And then releasing a project called Hourglass. So that's something I announced probably a few weeks to a month ago, and that's what we're locked in on. Got the hat prepared and everything. But that's kind of to the point that you were saying, that everything is gonna happen in the right time and on your own journey, and that's really what the project is about. So.
No, that's good. I mean, that was a perfect segue, talking about timing and careers and a project being called Hourglass. Like, we couldn't have timed that no better. That was beautiful.
I appreciate it.
But I wanna go back, a little bit further early in career. So you went to Northwestern University, studied computer engineering and music technology. What made you want to go into that field, and also how were you able to balance music and education?
Yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. But I think someone who's been instrumental in my life is my dad, and at every step in the road, he gave me guidance on where I should be going. And so when I finished high school, or was close to finishing, he was saying you should at least take a look at engineering, and you're good at math and do science. That's kind of where the future is. So a lot of that just taught me how to think and process and be analytical. And a lot of those skills actually transferred into music, and just thinking process, thinking business. I take that approach into my music. It's very like process and analytical in a sense. And I think that helps with like storylines and making sure all the details are there and whatnot. So it actually helped a lot in terms of music. And I think in terms of balance, it was just like, I love to do it. There was a lot of times where it was tough and I was like, should I even do this? Because it takes away from certain things. It's hard to be great at multiple things, but I just kept coming back to music. And it was a way that I could, it was therapeutic in a sense. And so it was just constantly a part of my life, and I wanted it to be.
That's a good answer. It's interesting you say that, because for so many years people was like, oh, you can't choose music and education, you can't do this and that, you have to pick one. So whenever I find people that do that, it's always interesting, because even for myself, I studied journalism and music business. So I was all into the music side of it as well. So it's always interesting to see people's different perspectives and how they were able to choose and how they were able to maneuver, especially computer technology, computer engineering and music technology, production, engineering, go hand in hand, which you may not think about till you actually get in it. So
yeah, absolutely. And I don't think I would be where I was at today without it. It was a blessing, because I met some people that also were really into music, really involved in music, and that helped me grow as an artist. Northwestern has a great music school, so being able to connect with people that are a part of that, they're basically professional musicians. So, learning from them, but just connections in general. I have people that work in journalism that, have helped me. I have people that work at places like YouTube or Apple and whatnot. So, having those connections and the time to grow and learn, I mean, it's definitely been instrumental for me.
it's a beautiful thing right there.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about music, education, but I see the basketball behind you. So, I gotta ask you, how important is basketball to you, growing up from Chicago, like the Bulls and all that. So did that play a part in what you wanted to do, kind of, sort of, or just what you like to do for having fun?
Yeah, basketball is huge. That's definitely been a major part of my life since I think I started at 5. So at every step of the journey, there's been basketball involved in some way. I only played until high school, and then I just play recreational now. But it's huge, and I learned a lot about life through playing sports and basketball. Met a lot of friends, and I think that there's a lot of stories that you can tell using basketball that people can relate to. So you see all my videos. There's oftentimes some type of connection or relation to basketball. So, but there was the dream. There was a dream to go to the league and be that guy for a while, but that unfortunately did not happen. But I guess it's never too late. J. Cole letting us know that it's never too late.
Listen, as long as you got the skill, you can still do what they do. Like, things happen when they supposed to happen, and they happen for a reason.
Yep. Exactly. So who knows? I might get that 10-day contract at some point. Bulls, let me know.
No, for real, them 10-day contracts be coming in handy sometimes. So, all it takes is one. All it takes is one.
Right.
You get on the court once. It don't matter what nobody says. You get on the court once professionally, you're a pro basketball player.
Exactly. Yep.
But for you to be from Chicago, how would you describe the Chicago music scene to people that's not from there? Because I'm from Baltimore.
Yeah. It's diverse. It's very diverse. And for me, so I actually was away for high school. So I learned a lot about the Chicago music scene from a distance, in a sense. But a lot of my friends have friends that were in the scene, and it was kind of always like 2 separate genres within one. There was kind of like the drill side of hip hop in Chicago, and then there was the more, I don't even necessarily want to say conscious, but just we did a little bit differently, and it wasn't as much influenced by what was going on, more so street culture wise. And so I think that a lot of that has just kind of evolved. We see that through artists like Lil Durk and Polo G, G Herbo, and then on this other side we see Chance and Saba, Nick Jenkins. But it's always been a super creative city and culture, and it's very small, right? Like a lot of us know each other, or somebody that knows somebody, just because it's a big city, but it feels small, and we're all connected, and we kind of all go through similar experiences. So people get it.
So how would you say that has inspired you musically, or has a presence in the songs you write, the songs you release, and things of that nature?
Well, I think I'm always inspired by Chicago as a city and the culture and the artists that are here. I have some friends that are incredible artists, and I'm just always learning from them. Being in these historic studios, and you just see the plaques on the wall, for songs that and love, and it's like there's so much history here, and I think it creates a desire to be a part of that. So many great people come from Chicago, and you want to be part of it, and hopefully most people, I feel like, want to give back to the city too and help it get to a better place.
So if you can name, I ain't gonna ask you to name 5 Chicago artists. I ain't gonna put that pressure on you, But if you can
Yep.
name 5 artists in general that have inspired you the most, who would they be?
Okay. It's tough because I feel like I'm very much so inspired by a lot of artists in the past, right? But also, artists today. So I feel like Michael Jackson's got to be in there. Definitely top 5. Stevie Wonder's got to be top 5. I'm a huge Drake fan, so he's got to be top five. Um, I would say J. Cole. J. Cole is definitely, especially with the college education, and he's definitely someone. Fifth person, hmm, there has to be like a woman that inspires me too. Like as I was going through it, I was like, man, that's a list of all guys. Like another female artist that has been a major inspiration.
No, that's very
And
true.
lately too, I've been like listening to a lot of R&B. So that's definitely.
That's nothing. Not,
I
you know,
mean, maybe Whitney Houston. She's definitely someone that my mom played a lot growing up. I like mention her in a lot of songs.
I ain't mad at that. If you gonna mention the voice, you might as well mention the voice, cause
Yeah, yeah. So let's go with that. So Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Drake, J. Cole, Whitney Houston.
and there we go. You got the new single coming out, Hourglass
Mhm.
project coming out. What do you hope fans take away from what you've been doing?
Well, I hope they. I mean, part of it is I hope they just enjoy it, and it takes them out of whatever hardships or uh, challenges that they're going through right now. I think that's something that I focus on, especially right now, is just kind of extract out from life. I think that that's something that a lot of people take from or are looking for in terms of entertainment right now is, get me away from whatever's going on. So I think that's a big focus. But I think community is huge. That's something that I've grown up on. Um, my dad is a pastor. My mom works at a community hospital, and so it's always been a focus on community, and that's always going to be a message within the music. Is how you can be an individual within a community, and unity is how we continue to elevate. So I think that's something I want people to take away. But our class is all about time. It's about patience. It's about balance. It's about running your race and being on your journey. And I think the big thing I want people to take away from that is that you know you're good enough, and you have your own path. And no matter what's going on social media and the 23-year-old that bought a house, or who's getting married, or traveling all across the world, who has a nice job, whatever it is, like you have a purpose, and continue on that purpose and be happy. Like comparison is a thief of joy. So I think that's what I want people to really take away from the project.